Hello and welcome to the Astrology Forecast. My name is Sage, here as your eye into the sky, letting you know what the cosmic events are for the week, why they matter, and how you can use this information in your everyday life. So we are officially into the month of May. Happy May. And this is really good news, especially if you are a fixed sign. So I'm talking to my Leos, my Aquarius, my Taurus, and my Scorpios. Really good news in the sense that we have entered into the smoother part of 2024 of Taurus season. It did start off a little rocky, and I know a lot of us, especially coming out of eclipse season, things felt really chaotic. And I did promise you all back in April that by May, things would really calm down and it would feel like the light at the end of the tunnel. I can happily report that we really have arrived to the much calmer and smoother side of 2024. If you can find your birth chart, pull it up. I really recommend you look at where you've got Taurus in your chart. The good news with this week is I don't really have a whole lot to share. We only have one major cosmic event, and it's a really positive one. It might get a little interesting, and I'll explain why. That's why we tune into these forecasts to understand more in depth about the cosmic energy. But really, guys, this is a nice, calm week where there's nothing going on that's super crazy or something to really pay attention to and look out for. No major signal warnings going on today and for the week. So good news to report on that. Other stuff, again, if you are a Taurus or you know and love a Taurus, maybe you want to gift somebody in your life a reading. I do offer gift certificates. You can go ahead and hit the link below, message me. And again, if you are looking to gift somebody that, I do offer those. If you are looking to gift yourself, it is 50% off for the birthday readings. That's a solar return chart, the birthday reading. You can gift yourself or a loved one that for 50% off. Or if you're a Taurus, you also get 30% off of a birth chart reading. They are very different readings. Make sure that you go to the link below and read up on each one to understand the differences. Utah retreat, we are offering a buy one, get one half off special. If you and a loved one want to join us this summer, get a full in-depth multi-day workshop led by myself, learning the language of astrology and getting to see the beauty, the wonder of a dark sky zone, you can come and have your partner come for half off. So it's buy one and that second ticket is half off. So really interesting stuff that's going to be shared this summer. Really beautiful sights to be witnessed and observed. If you're interested in coming, the link is below as well. You can learn more about the retreat. If you have some questions, you can message me. And of course, register is down below. Please make sure that you like, comment, subscribe, show love. If you want to stay up to date, I do post weekly forecasts. Hit the notification bell. That way you can be notified every single week that I post a new forecast. And with that, let's dive into the cosmic event happening this week. So diving into the first and only major cosmic event happening this week is on Tuesday, May 7th. We have a new moon in Taurus. Now, what I love about this new moon is it's the first one since the eclipse season. So that eclipse season paired with the Mercury retrograde, I know, I don't want to keep bringing it up, probably the last time you'll hear me mention it, but that was a really wild time. Now that we're finally out of that energy, this new moon marks the beginning of a new lunar cycle. And that really takes us out of eclipse energy. Like we are like officially done with all things April, all things crazy astrology chaos, right? We're done with that energy and it's time to start fresh. That's exactly what new moons are for. So keeping in mind, a new moon is when the sun and the moon are together in the same sign. Now, this also ushers in the beginning of a new lunar cycle. And what I love about this particular new moon is that it is in the grounded earth sign of Taurus. Taurus, which follows after Aries season, all the hype, all the buzz, all the sparks flying during Aries season, get some sort of groundedness when we enter Taurus season. And this is when things become real. This is when things become really practical, really down to earth, and much more, I guess you could say like 3D reality, right? Because that's what earth signs are all about, right? They rule over the body, the physicality. And so this is a new moon in Taurus. What I love about this is the moon's best place to be, right? We have in astrology something called exaltations Exaltations are when a planet is in a sign that it does the absolute best in. It is functioning optimally in that sign. The moon is exalted in Taurus. So a Taurus new moon is basically when the moon is in its prime. This is the moon thriving, living its best life. So the moon in Taurus is essentially focused on this grounded growth, right? We see with Taurus energy that we're connecting ourselves with nature, with energy, with the five senses, and that is what Taurus rules over. So in astrology, we can see how this connection with nature is so nourishing and it's so growth oriented because that's what nature represents. It represents that energy of growth and cycles and patterns and evolution. And this is what this new moon's really about. Now, again, looking in your birth chart can help you amazingly because that'll tell you where this new moon energy is showing up. Keep in mind that new moons, especially when we consider the fact that the moon is hidden from sight, represent sort of like a blank canvas in our sky. And we are the painter, right? We're the artist. And essentially, we paint the picture that we want to see. Now, I do want to make it clear, make you all understand that this is not going to happen right away. That when it comes to new moons, we plant the seed during the new moon, and we really see that seed coming into full bloom during the culminating full moon that happens later in the year. This year, it'll be on November 15th. So that is actually when we'll see the result of the seeds getting planted during this particular new moon. We'll see the result of that manifestation of those seeds we planted probably come November time when we got the full moon in Taurus. Now, an interesting signature that this moon is taking on. If we think back to April 20th, I want you to consider what was going on in your life. And again, knowing where you have Taurus in your chart, what area of life is getting activated here is even more helpful. Now, thinking back on April 20th, we had this really rare, really very powerful conjunction between both Jupiter and Uranus in the sign of Taurus. Now, things were more than likely kind of reaching a peak during that April 20th time period. We've sort of moved away from that a little bit. The two planets are starting to separate. However, they are still nearby to one another. That conjunction is still activated. And it just so happens that this new moon, the sun and the moon together in Taurus, are kind of reactivating that conjunction. Now, I don't say that to scare you, but I do say it to let us understand that this is not your average Taurus moon. See, typically, Taurus is the sign of permanency and stability and things that are tried and true. But all of a sudden, Uranus is involved. And this is the planet, this is what I call the WTF planet. Uranus is that planet that will throw you off because you weren't expecting it. It's the freedom fighter, it's the planet of liberation and rebellion and revolution, right? So it's all about the surprising, shocking twists and turns that we weren't expecting. Kind of how Uranus was discovered, right? We didn't really know it was there. All of a sudden, we discovered it way later into civilization. So, really understanding that Uranus is activating this particular new moon is really almost electrically charging this new moon. The sun is also here, and Jupiter is here. Jupiter is the planet of luck and abundance and expansion. And now we've got these energies all combining together in Taurus. It's kind of throwing off the stability of this new moon. So I say that because while you might take this new moon as a time to really get grounded and to plant some seeds, I encourage you to also stretch beyond that very comfortable Taurus comfort zone that a lot of us find ourselves in during this time of year, especially with the moon being in its exalted sign of Taurus. It is a natural feeling to want to get comfortable and follow routine and go with what's always been done. But Uranus and Jupiter are sort of making us feel like perhaps that's not what is ultimately going to get us to where we want to go. And if we want to grow and expand, says Jupiter, then we have to do things differently, says Uranus. And of course, the sun and the moon are more than likely going to feel a little bit of that spark and that energy and that push because they're all hanging out with Jupiter and Uranus. So it's more than likely that while we want to get comfortable in that comfort zone, we want to get, used to the things we've been doing, it's more than likely that we will feel a push to perhaps change the way we've been doing things. And so be open to change during this new moon, during this whole week. If things that you've been doing over and over again suddenly feel more boring or routine, and maybe you're thinking it's time to switch things up, let that be the seed that you plant during this new moon. Plant seeds of change and innovation, says Uranus in Taurus. That will give us the highest activation possible of this particular energy. And so let's just talk about three ways that I am going to offer that you work with this energy. There's multiple ways that you can work with this energy, but just to name a few, first thing I would say is, again, planting seeds. But I really want to emphasize to not expect these seeds to be blooming overnight, right? Because this is, of course, nature. We know how nature goes, right? Nature is never an immediate thing, not usually, especially when it comes to planting seeds, right? When you plant a seed, it takes some time. And this is a fixed energy we're talking about. Taurus is fixed. And so fixed signs are way more consistent than many other signs. And therefore, it gives us a lot of staying power with whatever seeds we are planting during this time. We might have gotten a lot of revelations during the retrograde that we just experienced and during eclipse season. And this is the moment to really kind of put that into practice in a way that is looking ahead, looking towards the future now. We're done with looking in the rearview mirror. We're done with dealing with all the chaos of what the eclipse has brought up. That's kind of being put to bed, and we're closing that chapter. And now it's looking ahead. What seeds can I plant that are new and innovative and maybe changing things for the better and helping me to grow and expand, which is also Jupiter's involvement here. Second thing I would say is to get connected to nature. This is the very like middle part of springtime, right? Taurus season represents the fixity of spring, when we are just in the middle of this season, right? It hasn't been cold for a while, well, depending on where you are, but it hasn't been like dead of winter cold. And we're not quite into that dead of summer cold, right? That's what Taurus season represents. It's all about new growth. And again, being that this is a fixed earth sign, it's kind of like the most dense earthy energy that the zodiac has. This is a great time to put your feet in the ground, to go and get into nature, whatever that looks like for you, even if you're in a city. No excuses. I know there's a park somewhere. Go get your feet into the grass and just really get connected to Mother Earth. The moon is the mother archetype, moon in Taurus. This is why it is exalted, because this is really that Mother Earth energy coming alive. So it's almost like Earth Day, which is also what 420 was. And of course, the Jupiter Uranus conjunction getting reactivated. So again, thinking back to maybe what seeds you planted then, you might feel that same energy coming back up. But don't allow that to get you caught up and stuck, because that can happen with Taurus energy. We want to keep moving. We want to be that charging bull, not that sitting bull. That's what the Uranus Jupiter conjunction is asking of us. So get into nature. Last but not least is this is a sign, Taurus is a sign that loves self care, right? This is the sign of the spa, of putting those cucumbers on your eyes, laying back and just relaxing and taking care of yourself. So allow this new moon to set the tone for your self care moving forward. We have a beautiful 6 month span of time, really taking up the bulk of the middle point of 2024, of this entire year. Between now and November, really allow these seeds you plant right now to be seeds of love, not just love for our planet, not just love for other people, but love for yourself. Uh, Give yourself that gift, right? Taurus, we can be a little bit more selfish with our time because we know that we will continue moving forward no matter what. And what tone are we moving forward on? Are we doing so from a place that is a full cup, right? Where we're honoring and loving ourselves? Or do we just keep giving and giving and giving, but not giving back to ourselves? This is the time to set the tone and really plant those seeds of self love and self care. You will feel so nourished, which is really what this is all about, right? This is the season of nourishment. Taurus season, fixed earth. I think of mud. Mud, although it can be feeling a little dirty at times, mud is also so incredibly nourishing. And there's a lot of goodness to be, explored there. So, with all that being said, Tuesday, May 7th, we might be feeling the effects of this throughout the week. But regardless, knowing where you've got this energy showing up in your birth chart is even more illuminating to understand this energy, how to work with it. Now, I do offer personal monthly forecast readings. If you are interested in getting a personal, it's only $50, by the way. Keep those really accessible because they're just monthly update readings. And again, if you are interested in getting one for the month of May, I will include this new moon in that reading. So if you're interested, link is below. You can book that. And that wraps us up, y'all. I really hope this information was of value to you. Please make sure you hit that like button right there down below. Make sure you hit the like button if you did get value here. If you haven't already subscribed, please go ahead and subscribe. If this video did give you value and you feel called to share it out with people, go ahead and share it out, especially if this is a Taurus in your life. This is information that they'll want to know, as a lot of the energy this week is pertaining to them. And with that, I hope you all have a beautiful week, a beautiful new moon, and as always, I will see you all again next Sunday.